So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate.
The interest on my $50,000 loan for my research year during med school totals $78,000. The interest is more than the loan, meaning by the end of the payment, I owe $128,000 total.
How much I owe in student loans 1 year after graduating from Harvard Law. Last year, my law student loans totaled that much.
I am trying not to cry at this point. I am going to just be in debt forever because I have borrowed less than half of this amount. I have paid almost double what I even borrowed in the first place, and I owe so much money.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing student loans. Now, a few videos ago we did unemployment Armageddon, and this is sort of the other side of the coin for people who haven't even gotten into the workforce yet. They've just been studying to get into it. So they're getting beaten down before the race has even started. And at the end of the video, there's a student loan that I can only describe as a house down payment. So stay tuned for that because it is crazy.
How much debt do you currently have?
$28,000.
That's very specific. Okay, what kind of debt is the $28,000?
Student loans.
All student loans. What was your degree?
I double majored in political science and English.
Okay, are you working in those fields right now?
No.
Why is that?
I have a passion for jewelry.
How long has this passion existed?
My whole life.
So you're trying to pay off the student loan debt right now, or are you just kind of like letting it float?
I'm kind of just letting it flow.
Do you have a job?
I do.
Is it in jewelry?
Yes.
What are you doing in jewelry?
I'm a luxury sales consultant and the head of a repair department.
Luxury, I mean, isn't all jewelry luxury in a sense? Quickly, will you pay off the $28,000 in student loans with your current plan?
I'm kind of hoping I strike it rich.
So no plan is what I'm hearing.
No plan.
Are you making payments right now?
No.
How are you getting away with that? Is it on like forbearance?
I think so.
So it's still accruing interest every day.
It would seem so.
So like as we've been talking, the balance has gone up.
Perchance.
You have no idea.
So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate. So what I thought I've been paying off for all this time, I'm actually, I owe more than what I started off with. What the f***? So Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool f***ing time to Venmo me, bro. I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend that much on school. You want my left arm too? What the f*** am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole f***ing life. How does that even make sense? I signed up for this shit when I was 17. This should not be legal, bro. I got upset about it at work and my coworker was like, don't you have a rich relative who can pay that for you? No, my family's poor. No. And the worst part is, bro, look where I am. I can't go in because I can't spend money, but I just want to be here because it makes me feel better.
Okay, that was interesting. Look, having someone come in and just pay off your student loans is a plan. Not a very good one, but it is a plan. And one common thing that seems to pop up in not only those videos, but a few today, is going to be the interest rate. So people seem to be a bit blindsided by these interest rates. They sort of either weren't aware of them or they just totally forgot about them. So that's an interesting thing and a common theme throughout all these. But right at the end, I've got a bit of a video, a bit of a treat of someone who's actually figured out how to get one up over these student loans. So stay tuned for that one. It's a doozy.
Last night I had to log into my student loan account to print out the paperwork to have my taxes done today. So I got to get a glimpse of my student loan balance for the first time in, I don't know, presumably a year. I honestly don't remember knowing what I owed still. Now, for a point of reference, I graduated in 2011. Okay, so I've been making student loan payments for almost 14 years. I actually did the math. It was about 165 monthly student loan payments that I've made so far. Okay, so it's right around $125,000. Okay, 165 monthly payments on $125,000. How much do you think I still owe? $78,000.
How much I owe in student loans 1 year after graduating from Harvard Law. For background reference, last year I made a video showing you how much I owed in student loans at the time, and so I wanted to make an update and show you how much I've progressed since then. Last year, my law student loans totaled that much, and I had various interest rates ranging from about 5.5% to 7%. Since that video, I've refinanced my student loans and now pay 3.57% interest. Since I graduated, I've also been paying more than the monthly minimum requirement, but I'll show you what my normal monthly payment would be as well. Those two bigger numbers are the amount I still owe, the $60,000 and the $138,000 number, for a total I will put in the text. Those numbers combined are my minimum monthly payment. So yes, I still owe a ton of money, but I only started my job in October and was taking the bar exam before that. So I've only been paying off for about 6 months, and I was very happy to get it under that $200,000 number.
Okay, so you can see the two different mindsets here. The first person was sort of just blaming everyone in the situation, despite getting 100 grand from her parents, which is quite a substantial amount of money. It was still sort of too much, and she was blaming. The video went for a lot longer. I just had to cut it down. But the second person sort of just shows like the mind shift of some people. She's there going, okay, I've got roughly the same amount of money owed, but she's paying off as much as she can, principal and interest, and she's refinancing. So she's going out to different institutions, getting a better deal, getting a better rate, and because of that, she'll be able to pay this off in a long time, albeit, but she's at least making the correct steps forward. So that's really good to see.
It should be illegal to put interest on student loans. What the hell is this? The interest on my $50,000 loan for my research year during med school totals $78,000. The interest is more than the loan, meaning by the end of the payment, I owe $128,000 total. Am I doing something wrong? How else are people paying for this? Should I not have went to school? I got out of school, so I called Sally Mae and I was like, I can't afford these $700 payments right now. They're like, that's fine. We'll just put you on like $250 payments for a year. Which means that once I get out of these $250 payments, it will actually, my loan would have actually went up because I wouldn't have been paying the full interest amount every year. So paying the minimum off my student loan every year does nothing but shave off the interest, which means the loan never goes away. Separate from this $50,000 loan, I have $250,000 in loan through the med school that I haven't even considered yet, that I don't want to think about. So I have $300,000 in direct debt, but if I include the interest, then my debt is actually over $500,000.
So I went from 2014 to 2017, graduated late 2017, and I came out of uni with a grand total of 39,000 debt. And so I've been paying incrementally more and more as I've sort of progressed through my career. And now I'm paying close to £400 a month.
Okay, so just super quick. The current exchange rate for this, just to give you an idea, is about 532 US dollars or 766 Australian shekels. So just to give you an idea.
So if you think £400 a month, you know, you would think, oh, I've probably paid off a fair bit of my uni debt. Well, think again. This is my grand total to date, 7 years later, and my debt is over £1,000, nearly £2,000 more than what I started with. So yeah, what a scam. So it got me thinking, well, I've got savings, and the amount of money that I'm making on the savings in interest is far less than nearly £400 a month that's coming out of my salary. So surely it's better to just pay off the student loan. I think in the back of my head I was hoping that if you're on plan 2, the student loan wipes after I think 30 years, so I've probably got another 20 odd years left to wait, but the amount that I'm having to pay back each month is obviously far greater than any interest that I'm making on any savings or premium bonds. So yeah, today I'm gonna pay off the student loan.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. What is this 30-year get out of jail free card that he's found? Now, it's not quite as simple as that, and I did a bit of research because it was interesting, because it sounds like his plan is just to wait 30 years and then the debt's forgiven and he can move on with his life. But it's not quite that simple. So in the UK and some surrounding countries, if you started your education in 2012 to 2022, Your debt can get forgiven after 30 years. Fair. However, the interest keeps accruing over that time, and they have the ability to garnish your wage. So if you're making a decent salary, they can just dip into your weekly pay packet anyway and take some money out for themselves. So they'll be getting paid regardless, whether you think you're going to wait the 30 years or not. They're getting their money. And I wanted to jump over the comment section, see what people are having to say about this. Here's one comment. £400 a month for 30 years. When it gets wiped, you'll pay £144,000. And that's basically what it's going to accumulate with the interest over time. So it's all well and good to think, 30 years and I'll be free. It's 30 years and I'll be paying it back to them anyway, whether I like it or not. So, interesting. This comment, mine is $77,000 to become a registered nurse working for the NHS. That's a scam. Earning less than most of the population. So this one's a little bit interesting because we saw at the start of the video there was someone and they had their education in something that wasn't going to make them the money back in that career, and then they ended up switching career anyway and doing something totally different and still having that loan. But nursing's pretty stable. Like, you can move around different countries. There might be some learning or certificates you need to keep yourself up with that country's standards, but nursing's in pretty high demand. Like, there are a lot of people that want nurses. So I found that interesting. But the fact that she had $77,000 on her loan and is still struggling to pay it off is just wild to me, especially for nursing. I don't know how they do it either. It's a crazy job. And this last comment, mine is £55,000 and I've just accepted I'll have this tax on my life. I'll never be able to pay it off in one go, and I'm hoping a better government comes through and wipes them for us. So that's a hope. Good luck.
Every 3 months or so, I get really stressed out about my student loans, how much I have and how I'm ever gonna pay them off. But I feel really compelled to tell you guys, I didn't know anything about student loans or my student loans until I graduated college. This is a little bit more common than people think. No one ever really told me anything about student loans. My parents were like, just go to college and you'll get a job and be able to pay them back after.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so not only do we get to hear a crazy dad, we also get a bit of a mukbang on this one. So this is a bit of a 2-for-1.
Probably because that's how it was during their time. So I go to college and I went to a small private school, so it was pretty expensive every year. When I finished my undergrad was the first time I ever looked at my student loans, and seeing that I had $60,000 in student loans stopped my heart. I'm not kidding. Because I had no idea I had that much. I still was kind of like, well, maybe I'll be able to pay them back. I'm gonna go to grad school and I'm gonna get a job. I didn't take any loans for grad school. Actually, I paid for it out of pocket. Thank fucking God. My student loans are probably $57,000 now because, like I said, the interest rates on them are so fucking high. And right now they're actually paused. And I still don't really understand anything about that. They're not gaining interest. I don't know why. I'm just letting it happen because I'm unemployed and can't afford to pay for them right now. I almost feel like this is kind of common, and I'm hoping that you guys can reiterate that for me. I wasn't taught anything about student loans. My parents did my FAFSA for me every year. I had no idea how much money my school was, how much they were paying, how much I was getting in loans, how much they were taking in loans. I didn't even know to ask that. Yes, I could have figured this stuff out on my own. I'm 18. Genuinely, I just had no clue. I was strictly oblivious to it. Do I ever think that I'm gonna pay off my student loans? No. Being so honest, I would have to pay so much money every year to even match the interest that student loans have. Why are we not talking about how much of a scam student loans are? Why are you letting me at 18 years old take out loans of $60,000? I'm genuinely wondering.
Okay, so a bit of a rare situation. I'm actually on the fence on this one. So yes, there is an argument for letting an 18-year-old sign up for a loan that's going to be like this and compound over time and put them into massive amounts of debt is bad. But then you are also socially accepted as an adult at that point. You can get tried as an adult for crimes, you can buy cigarettes, you can gamble in some states and countries. You are basically an adult. And the handheld theory has to stop sometime, or otherwise it just goes on forever. They're only 25, they didn't know what they're getting into, or they're only 30. You have to draw a line in the sand at some point and take action for your responsibility. And I think this is where it's sort of you are young, but you are an adult. So, a bit of a hard one. It's kind of touchy. I'd love to know what you guys think on that, actually, because it is a really hard definitive line to sort of draw.
I am in over $300,000 of debt as a fourth-year med student, which means when my loans hit in August, I'm going to be in over $400,000 of debt. But what's crazy is look at how much interest I've accumulated while in medical school. And look at how much interest I'm accumulating every single day. It's over $65 a day. every day. And so let's talk about this. Why am I accumulating interest while I'm in school? Well, that's because in the US, graduate students are not eligible for subsidized loans. I'm still taking out government loans, but the government's just not paying my interest. Okay, they're paying a little bit of my interest. Let me explain. I am accumulating interest on my principal balance. Now, typically you end up paying interest on your unpaid interest. The government says, and they actually cover it, and that's what that like 65 cents is. But look at these interest rates, guys. 8%, 9%. That's why I'm accumulating so much interest right now. So what am I gonna do about it? Honestly, I don't know yet. But I did recently learn about the RAP plan, which is Repayment Assistance Program, and it's for residents. This plan should prevent your debt from completely ballooning during residency. Because listen, my debt is gonna be $3,000 a month in just interest. I can't pay $3,000 a month whenever I'm gonna be making like $4,000 a month, which means I would finish residency with more debt than I started. This new RAP program, supposedly, I'm still doing my research, basically says you have to pay a minimum amount every month, and it's based on your income, and there's like tiers. The maximum one is if you're making over $100,000, you have to pay 10%, 10 grand divided by 12. That's how much you have to pay per month. If that doesn't cover your interest, the rest of your interest is waived, which is a game changer, but not for everyone. It is not a game changer for students who have private loans because they don't get to use this program, which means any students starting medical school this year will get to use this for like half of their loans, depending on how expensive your med school is, because you're gonna be capped at $200,000 of government loans, and outside of that, you gotta go private. The private loans will accrue interest during residency. It's how they make money.
Okay, that's really interesting. And I love that she was saying, oh, not for everyone. I feel like a lot of people on TikTok, they sort of go, oh, I figured out this thing and you do this, or hey, did you know about this? And it doesn't apply for everyone. It doesn't apply for most people, and normally it's gated quite heavily, and you only end up getting percentages of what they've promised on TikTok. So good on her for actually shouting that out. And she had a lot of money going, but this next one has over 200 grand, which didn't start that way. So let's see what interest has done to her.
I owe a mortgage amount of student loans. Yep, that's how much I owe. And I have paid $165,356 towards this amount. But here's the thing. When I started, okay, I owed $96,000. So again, I borrowed $96,000. I have paid $165,356.46, and I still owe $220,810.73. Let me explain to you how I got in this predicament. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. I am a PA, and I make good money. I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, that good money is still not enough to pay this, right? And so I worked for a nonprofit hospital for the first 2.5 years out of school. My plan was to work for that hospital for a decade and apply for public service loan forgiveness, okay? I even asked our HR department, does this qualify? And they said yes, and that numerous of my colleagues are also eligible, and they have filled out the paperwork and they are working towards loan forgiveness. But for some reason, when I applied and I filled out the paperwork online, on paper, I did it literally 8 times. That's not an exaggeration. I got denied 8 out of 8 times. I am trying not to cry at this point. I am going to just be in debt forever because I have borrowed less than half of this amount. I have paid almost double what I even borrowed in the first place, and I owe so much money. I can't do this, and no matter what I do, I'm stuck. And I chose a career where I am a civil servant for the rest of my life. Does this mean I need to be punished like this? I am running backwards at this point. I don't think I'm gonna ever pay this off in my lifetime.
Thanks for watching. This has been student loans, and I wanted to do this just to show that not only is the unemployment Armageddon upon us, that even people who are trying to study up to get into the workforce are having a rough time, and the workforces itself is a total disaster at the moment. So I thought it'd be good to capture both sides of that, and I'd love to know any stories that you guys have, any student loans, or how you're going paying off a student loan if you do have one, and YouTube thinks you would like this video. So I'll see you next time.